Hey everyone, Sundowner here, and welcome back to BioShock Infinite. When we last left off, we were just approaching the Hall of Heroes, and, well, here we are, and of course the logo has been tarnished, modified to read Hall of Horrors. And we are here to find the shock jockey, whatever that may be. There's also one of those little salt stands here, so we can grab some salt before we head on. May or may not have discharged one of my powers accidentally before recording, so just as well that's there. Before we head into the main area, we're going to check out the surrounding areas, of course, and in this room there's actually a voxophone, so let's go and get that.
They'll call us assassins when our work is done. Cornelius Slate, the swift left hook of the Vox Populi. We'll be trading Comstock's life for a new one. So be it. The Fitzroy woman and I are comrades of necessity. I doubt all the men who reddened Caesar's toga would still be seen breaking bread together in peacetime. With Comstock gone, my men's past deeds will be sacred, and they will claim the spoils due them. I need not live to see it.
So I believe this is alluding that Slate and Daisy Fitzroy of the Vox Populi may be working together, at least for now. Oh, it sounds like there's someone here. Well, Elizabeth is worked up, so there must be. Well, that's one way to deal with them, shooting them with rockets at point blank range, but I'll take it. So there are plenty of upgrades for the powers that we do have, but unfortunately it's kind of hard to come by a lot of money at this early stage of the game, so we can't really buy them for now. But they are worth buying, and eventually we will get to them some way. People often complain that there isn't enough money in the game, but I found it was fine. I just kind of didn't spend a lot when I was playing the first time and ended up with quite a lot of money to spend kind of the mid-game to late game, so I don't know if anyone else experienced that, but it was fine for me.
Our prophet, Father Comstock, commander of the 7th Cavalry.
That man did not lead the 7th. Hell, I don't even remember the guy.
Corporal DeWitt proved his worth on the field that day.
Well, I'll be. Slate? Is that you?
You've always been different, haven't you, Booker? You crave no glory.
Look, I see you're caught up in some kind of jam here. If you could see fit to let us through to where they keep this shock jockey, then we'll...
That tin soldier, Comstock, wants my boys dead. We won't die at his hands.
Shh. There's going to be trouble.
All my men have left is a choice. Die at the hands of a tin soldier, or a real one!
I mean, I don't necessarily think that has to be the only choice they could make. They could just not fight me, because, you know, you could just let me go and get the shock jockey and don't fight me. Yeah.
You see, you're a killer, Booker. Like it or not.
Just give us the shock jockey.
If you want the vigor, Booker, you will give my men a soldier's death. They wait for you with wounded knee in Peking.
Wait for us at Wounded Knee. Huh. That'll be interesting. So I think I'm going to start editing out just a few sections where I'm mostly fleecing areas for, you know, items. It tends to be nothing worth finding, and I oftentimes don't have anything worth saying, so
Nice.
I'll kind of edit around those and bring it in, like for now, for instance, when I find an infusion. So if you ever see fades or cuts, then that's usually me editing things. And also here's some creepy slate heads.
I'll try to keep you stocked with both bandages and ammo, but the right materials aren't always at hand.
So I guess this is what Slate meant by meaning as it wounded knee. It's actually little walkthroughs, like a kind of tourist attraction of some sorts. And actually there's an interesting little stand here with a bunch of information on the basic history of Colombia. Now, I was trying to read it, and I got a little bit of bother with Elizabeth, so yeah, sometimes her AI isn't absolutely perfect. I'm a little forgiving of that, but sometimes it can be just a little bit annoying. She kept standing in front of me as I tried to get this information on screen, but the same information's on the other side where she won't bother me, so there it is. Most of it we've heard before, but there's probably a couple of things here you could read and be informed of. So before we head into these areas and we have an option of which one we take first, figured I would check out some of these things here if I need any upgrades or ammo. Seeing as the Wounded Knee one seems a little bit more interesting or important, I think I'm going to go for the Boxer Rebellion one first, but there's also an entrance there that says the First Lady, so that's perhaps somewhere we'll get to visit after whatever Slate has in store for us here.
What is this?
It's the Boxer Rebellion.
What happened there?
In Peking, it was my hand that put the city to the torch. Of course, that's not how Comstock tells it.
Before we head in, there is a little service room here we can head in and find some interesting loot. So let's go and check it out. This one is pretty good, and I would say it's useful if you're playing on harder difficulties where you may die a lot and hence get revived a lot, but for our purposes it's not really that useful, so I won't be using it for this playthrough. Oh, that was a little unexpected.
Was yellow skin and slanted eyes that did betray us with their lies, until they crossed the righteous path of our prophet's holy wrath.
About this. Comstock led the Colombian troops to Peking.
Comstock wasn't there! The Boxers took my eye and 30 of my friends! Is there even a stone to mark that sacrifice?
A good death!
Watch out, fireman!
Fire cleanser!
So I'm not just being blatantly terrible here, I'm actually trying to draw the fireman out. You can also see here just how effective the shield is. It's pretty much protected us from all that damage we just may have taken as normal health. And there's why I wanted to get the sucker out, so we can use our bucking bronco and throw him up in the air and shotgun him down, which is pretty damn fun. And bucking bronco is extremely powerful and useful pretty much throughout the entirety of the game.
You see, young miss? You see the man that Comstock wishes he was? A real soldier.
I don't want to do this, Slade. Just give me what I need.
I will, after you do the same for me. Come and look for me in amongst the ghost dancers.
Who are the ghost dancers?
Wounded Knee. He means us to head to the other display.
Can you hear Comstock's tin soldiers coming to silence us? But we are the true patriots. The history that does not fit in their books.
So it really feels like Comstock is trying to set up the imagery that he indeed was part of the Boxer Rebellion and Wounded Knee, but Slate seems entirely convinced of the contrary, so hopefully Slate's here and hopefully he has more clarification on that. That's quite a potent mix of different powers and gear that I have, because I can pretty much stun lock little groups of people, and that's going to become insurmountable as these combat sections go.
The tin soldier is taking credit for the deeds of the real ones. Now your companion, young lady, he wrapped himself in glory on December 29, 1890.
What does he mean?
You don't want to know.
So before we head on, there's another room we can check out. I'll just get to the point. There's a guard, there's a piece of gear, and that's it. We can head on.
With hue and cry, with hatchet red, they danced amongst our noble dead. But when our soldiers took the field, the savage horde could only yield.
You were there. At Wounded Knee. I can see it in your face.
Tell her, Booker! Tell her how we strode that battlefield like the heroes of Sparta. I still hear the screams. Let's come, Stock.
Will be remembered!
Here's the soldier I spoke of! The kind of man Comstock pretends to be! See if I told you true!
Sorry.
You did them a favor, Booker. You let them die like men.
I didn't ask for this. I have no quarrel with these men.
Heroes never ask.
I never claimed to be no hero.
Then what are you? If you take away all the parts of Booker DeWitt you tried to erase, what's left? Come back to the rotunda. It's almost over.
What did Slate mean? What did you try to erase?
Now that you're out of yours, you might realize cages have their advantages.
A choice is better than none, Mr. DeWitt. No matter what the outcome.
Yeah. What if you woke up one day and realized you didn't like what you chose?
I've got what you need, Booker. You will find me past the First Lady's memorial.
Of course, I try to use a vending machine as soon as a combat sequence is about to start. Let's just get on with it.
Say what you want about Lady Comstock. The woman had an eye for fashion.
If you can see that there's actually tears pouring out of the eyes, which is creating the fountain. Pretty interesting imagery.
You hold on to this.
Great.
I really enjoy this area for its intense imagery, and the music is really nice, and it often changes as you progress through the area, so I'm going to shut up for the most part.
The seed of the prophet lay in the womb of Our Lady, but for a single week. Comstock had a child. My books never mention anything about a child.
That's quite an omission. Can't imagine that was by accident.
But the child took ill, and Our Lady prayed for the prophet's heir day and night. That's my tower.
Lo, while Daisy Fitzroy has murdered my beloved, she shall not have the child. She shall not come betwixt her and prophecy.
The seed of the prophet shall sit the throne and drown in flame the mountains of man.
You're Comstock's daughter.
No, I can't be. I can't.
He wants you to follow in his footsteps.
Well, I want a puppy, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna get one.
Locked. Elizabeth!
I love this statue with the bright red robe, and then Lady Comstock praying. Bearing in mind this is supposed to be a kind of tourist or civilian attraction, so it is essentially lining up Daisy Fitzroy to be the murderer of Lady Comstock. Comstock really has set up quite a monopoly on the people of Columbia, and well, he seems to be a smart man. And speaking of Lady Comstock, why don't we hear a voxophone directly from her?
To those who loved me, I was the most generous of souls. There was no pain I would deny them, no betrayal I would not gladly give. And when I had scorched the hearts of all who loved me, the prophet said, "There is nothing you can do for which I will not forgive you. For God has granted me sight, and through his eyes, even you are loved."
It seems even Lady Comstock has sort of fallen for Comstock's way.
I can get through these bars, but you're too broad. Let me scout ahead, see if there's some way to move forward. Look.
Is that?
It's a tear, something I can bring into this world.
It's a freight hook. Well, that's convenient.
As I said, it's a form of wish fulfillment. All right, Let me know if you want me to bring that freight hook in.
Go ahead.
You bet. I feel there's more where that came from. Whenever I'd get anxious, tears have a way of appearing. Booker, do you see those tears? We can use them against Slate's men. That tear will get us access to higher ground. And that one will give us a turret.
And now we've been introduced to one of Elizabeth's main, if not one of the most important gameplay mechanics that she brings to the game. At any point in most combat areas, she can bring in a whole array of different things through tears, like for example the freight hook, or indeed a huge turret to gun down the bad guys, and this can be extremely useful and also very fun to play with. There's plenty more that she can bring, but for now we're only getting to see a few, but we will see this consistently for pretty much the rest of all of the combat in the game. And yeah, it just seems a little bit out of nowhere that she can do this, but I'm not going to complain because it's useful. But it is certainly a little bit jarring that she can suddenly pull these out of nowhere. I mean, why didn't you do this before when it could have been useful otherwise? But hey, it is what it is.
Where is he? He's still out. Is your heart in it?
Comstock's pen can do some wonderful tricks. Do you know what you've got there, Booker?
That's enough, Slate. We just need the vigor to get out of Columbia. We're taking it one way or another. Slate?
So even Slate is aware of the power that Elizabeth holds, and perhaps he's prepared, perhaps not, but he certainly knows that Booker is currently partied up with someone extremely powerful. Elizabeth can also bring in different vending machines, albeit a little bit creepy in style. This one also comes with 50% off the items that it supplies, which is pretty handy, as we can, well, for example, buy a clip increase now for the pistol, which I didn't buy before because I didn't want to spend $500 when I could use that perhaps for some kind of power upgrade later on, so pretty useful on that front as well. But that's all I have for now, so as always, thank you for watching and join us next time to find out what is going on in the Memorial Gift Shop.